Welcome to this week's 10-Minute Trends hosted by Direct Agents. My name is Megan Conahan. I'm the EVP at Direct Agents.
I'm Jackson Richards, Director of Strategy with Direct Agents.
Awesome. So as always, if you do have any questions as we go through, please feel free to chat them to us and we'll do our best to get to them at the end, or email marketing@directagents.com. So today we're going to cover a couple things. So first is Walmart Plus officially launching, holidays, and then the last topic is going to be more brands embracing the D2C model. So topic one, Walmart Plus. So Jackson, we've been talking about this, I feel like forever, but probably only the last couple of weeks, but details have officially launched. So can you talk about some of the details surrounding Walmart Plus, and also for brands that are selling really aggressively on Amazon, do they now need to take the Walmart marketplace a little bit more seriously?
Yeah, great question, and that second part's really important too. So yeah, after months of waiting, we definitely know a lot more now. Walmart finally released details about their Walmart Plus service that in all the news articles, it's kind of been positioned as a way to compete with Amazon Prime, but we'll come back to that in just a moment. So first, some of the details around Walmart Plus. It's going to cost $98 a year or $13 monthly, and it's going to roll out nationwide in September on the 15th, I believe. So what you get with that is free unlimited delivery, as fast as same-day delivery in some categories, including grocery, which is incredibly important, home goods, home essentials, toys. They market it as several 100,000 products that will be available for that free same-day or one-day shipping. So the same-day shipping is going to be fulfilled in Walmart by Walmart stores, which we've talked about in recent episodes, why Amazon is looking to potentially acquire some closing JCPenney or Sears stores to use as distribution centers, because that kind of competition is heating up for really fast and reliable pickup or curbside or delivery and curbside pickup and things like that. Actually, just in the news the other day, we saw that Best Buy is actually closing shopping in some of their retail locations, and instead is transitioning those centers to distribution centers. So that's a growing trend as accelerated shipping competition heats up there. Some other perks for Walmart Plus: 5 cents a gallon discounts for gas across 2,000 locations. In the long run, I think this is going to be meant to compete with Amazon Prime, but really in the short term, I think this is more just a way to increase their stickiness and retention within Walmart's current shoppers, right? It's all geared towards fast delivery for or pickup at curbside and things like that. So I think they'll kind of roll it out first to focus on their existing customers, build that in for loyalty, and then expand to other sorts of services. Right now, it doesn't have any kind of auxiliary sort of services like streaming or some of the other perks you get with Amazon Prime. But yes, I mean, I definitely think for marketers, Walmart as a way for marketing for CPG brands is heating up, and it's just going to be so much bigger of a marketplace. I think Amazon, Walmart, Target, we're going to see marketers specifically in the CPG category really expand their media mix to need to take advantage of all of those different marketplaces. Now, I also kind of slipped in another topic behind your back, Megan, quickly that I want to talk about was Walmart in talks to acquire TikTok, because that does have kind of connections here towards that second piece of your question, which was how is this impacting marketers, right? So Megan, I don't know if you saw in the news that Walmart has been joining forces with Microsoft to potentially make an acquisition of TikTok. And a lot of my conversations have been about why would Walmart want to get into that social space? And there's really a number of key reasons here. I mean, definitely one, they're borrowing from Amazon's strategy of investing in emerging markets. But there's a few important things here. One, TikTok has recently added some in-app shopping capabilities. So, more e-commerce focused across a wider set of brands than just CPG, which is kind of where Amazon's advertising bread and butter has been. But TikTok has a huge, already huge, but also very quickly growing advertising business. So Walmart wants to scale their ad business far outside of just the Walmart shopping marketplace. And we know that Amazon has been able to do that, right? Yes, Amazon ads within the Amazon app and within the platform are a huge business, but they also use their data to be able to activate ads all around the web. And I think Walmart wants to potentially explore acquiring TikTok to help expand their ad business outside of just Walmart. It's also a great way to embed themselves within Gen Z. I don't know how likely it is that this deal will actually go through. But it's starting to make sense why Walmart would look to make an acquisition like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But now Amazon has drones, maybe. So, it's all up in the air now.
I think they've actually got the go-ahead to use those drones for delivery. Yeah.
I saw that. I'm just curious that, like, as soon as it rolls out, how many people are going to end up stealing drones? It's going to be like all drones go missing because of those darn kids. So the second thing we wanted to talk about is holidays. So if you attended our holiday webinar a couple weeks ago now, it's going to be no surprise to you that this year is going to be the largest e-commerce Q4 that we've pretty much ever seen. And lots of brands are making moves, like you touched on. Best Buy obviously using some of their stores as just fulfillment centers now, because they just assume everybody's going to be, or most people are going to be obviously online. But can you just talk a little bit about what brands are doing and how brands should prepare really quickly?
Yeah, so we've mentioned a few of these statistics in some previous weeks webinars, but we are already seeing, even through the first half of the year, for things like Valentine's Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, holidays where people buy gifts, that the shopping for those holidays has started much earlier this year. And all trends are indicating that that is going to be even more so for the Q4 holiday shopping season. If we look already, year over year, towards the end of July, August, beginning of September, we're already seeing a huge increase year over year in interest for Halloween shopping and just Halloween in general. And we already know that Amazon is kind of gearing up for a big Prime Day in October, and that's really pulling all Q4 holiday shopping much earlier. We've talked about how brands or retailers are closing their stores around Black Friday and Thanksgiving. And that just really exemplifies how those specific days are becoming less important. And now it's just more of an extended shopping season that's going to not necessarily end earlier. I still think it'll go through December and the beginning of January, but it's definitely going to start much earlier. We're going to start seeing holiday promotions next to Halloween candy, essentially. And that doesn't mean that there's going to be a Christmas tree inside of a Target or a Kohl's in October. I still think they'll kind of get into the imagery of the holidays, probably around the same time or in November. But the promotions and the deals that are going to run are going to be in place in October. Target, Kohl's, Nordstrom, all these brands announced that they're rolling out deals earlier than ever this year. And they know that shoppers want to avoid crowds. So they'll either start shopping in store earlier, or they're going to be doing all of their shopping online. So I think brands just really need to take a much more kind of diverse approach to how they're marketing. Definitely, kind of mixing promotions between reaching online shoppers versus in-store shoppers, having a really deep understanding of their audience, knowing which segments of their audience prefer to shop in which methods, which are going to be most likely to shop within certain categories, things like that. Because if you just kind of use your playbook from years past, you're going to be leaving a lot of sales on the table this year, both in terms of timing as well as the type of products that people are shopping for this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the final topic or final thing that I wanted to cover are, we keep seeing more and more very traditional brands really embrace D2C, brands that, you wouldn't think that it would be necessarily kind of common sense for. So, and I think a lot of the reason is those D2C brands they just fared really, really well during the pandemic. And it makes sense that a lot of these more traditional meat retail brands are making moves to incorporate kind of that D2C model in their go forward strategy. So, what are we seeing and what does this mean maybe for traditional brands who haven't started thinking about, if D2C even makes sense for them?
Well, I think if you're a CPG brand that is still wondering if D2C makes sense for you, it might be a little bit too late. Because,
there's still time, Jackson, there's still time.
There's still time, but there are definitely your competitors might be a step ahead of you, at least in thinking about it, right? Many brands still are not taking the important steps to actually act on it. But Megan, we've talked about this time and time again. The pandemic has not necessarily started so many trends. Yeah, a handful, of course, but it has absolutely accelerated trends that were already in place. And one of those trends was that larger, kind of more traditional CPG brands that relied on brick and mortar, either big box stores or convenience stores, multiple different sorts of physical retail locations, have started to expand into direct to consumer. Mm-hmm. You'll see brands like Pepsi or Kraft or like even Ocean Spray. There's a good article about that this week that are just putting together these D2C incubators to try to develop new brands, or think about how they can just sell their like core products direct to consumer. And there's a lot of reasons why this makes sense, and there's a lot of reasons why the pandemic is accelerating the need for brands to do this. One, you get more profit per sale when you sell direct to consumer than when you have to share that with a retail store. You own more of the customer insights and you own the relationship more, so that allows for more relevance for your customers. It allows you to build a more robust loyalty program. You're more agile because you don't rely on nationwide brick and mortar rollouts for different sorts of campaigns or promotions or product launches. But I think the most important thing, and this comes into how the pandemic has impacted this, is that these brands see the writing on the wall that people are going to be doing much more shopping online. You're not going to just get the foot traffic that leads to a lot of these sales. And if you're going to be selling predominantly online, why not own as much of that as you can yourself? So in terms of how brands need to pivot, beyond just kind of like building out the like actual like technical infrastructure to do that, there's a lot of implications for marketing too. D2C brands have taken a much different approach, a digital first approach to marketing, where CPG brands have long relied on TV and other traditional channels. And it sounds like a small shift, but that mindset it requires like a complete shift in mindset to adopt a digital first strategy. Mm-hmm. And a testing strategy and a data-driven strategy. So you're going to see a lot of these brands that have kind of like wiggled their toes in the water of digital first really have to dive in and make some big moves there. And it also is important to note that it's not just a one-way street. I think it's more of a diversification, because what we've seen is direct-to-consumer brands that have reached a certain level of success or scale. Think about like a Casper, things like that. They've done it. They've grown to a certain point being direct to consumer and digital first, but in order to scale beyond that, they've needed to partner with the Walmarts or the other kind of like big retail stores in order to reach the other level of expansion. So for D2C brands that have reached a certain level of success, I think there's still going to be that partnership with retail stores. And it just really, I think the way to think about it is brands need to be as diverse and flexible as they can be in order to get in front of their customers at every single opportunity.
Yep, we talked about diversity in shipping last week. Now it's diversity in distribution. So that is the name of the game. I was telling you before, I saw Beyond Meat is even going D2C, which was like, there's something for everybody, I guess.
I haven't tried it yet, but maybe now's the time to place my first order.
Get it online. So that's about it for us today. I also wanted to let everybody know that we are hosting a webinar on September 23rd. We'll chat out the RSVP link right now if you would like to sign up. Really what it's going to be focused on is how to prepare for 2021, right? So much is unknown. You know, what are the steps that you need to take? What are the strategy shifts or organizational shifts that you need to kind of enact to make sure that you can continue to pivot into next year? So do sign up, and everybody have a wonderful long weekend. And thank you so much, Jackson.